Hi, in this short segment, I'd like to introduce you to the imperfect tense of the verb to be, and then include sort of a devotional on its use in the prologue in John's Gospel. So let's get started. All right, the imperfect indicative of the verb to be is expressed in the 6 forms, and I'd like to pronounce these with you. Amen, ace, ain. Amen, eta, asan. One more time. Amen, ace, ain. Amen, eta, asan. We can notice here the men ending that we are familiar with from before, the te ending as well for the second person plural. We can also notice the sigma here of the second person singular. So let's pronounce it one more time. Amen, ace, ain. Amen, eta, asan. Now, we have a picture here. We have a little person by the name of Amy that we're introduced to in chapter 5. Poor Amy with her wilted ribbon. She does look a bit imperfect. She's also holding the familiar indicator for the indicative mood. Now, look at her. She's sitting on a mane, being led by an ace with a rein. So, a mane here being led by an ace with a rein. A mane, ace, ain. I was, you were, he, she, or it was. Now, take a look at this ace, and he's holding on to some amen that ate a son. Those are plural endings. Amen, eta, a son. So one more time. An imperfect Amy with an indicator sitting on a mane being led by an ace with a rein. And they're holding on to the amen that eta, a son. So those are the imperfect forms. All right, I want to introduce you to the prologue to John's Gospel and just make a couple comments, maybe more of a devotional way. Verse 1, En arche ein halagas. In the beginning was the Word. And there's our imperfect indicative third singular. Was, past, continuous. And the word was pros. Normally it's translated as with, but the main lexicon suggests something better, in company with God. And the Word was God. Now notice here, we have the ein occur again in this verse. So 3 occurrences of the imperfect indicative third singular of was, about having to do with the Word. Now, verse 3, all things through him came into being. Agenata, we've had the verb genomai. This is a second aorist, which refers to point action. And genomai can mean create. So all things just came into being or were created through him. And apart from him came into being or was created not one thing. And then at the conclusion here, that which has come into being. Now, verse 4, in him was life. Notice again the imperfect indicative of Amy, was. And the life was taphos, the light of man. Photography is a derivative of this word. And the light in the darkness phine, shines. Here's the verb phino. Phino is a present active indicative third person singular. So the light shines in the darkness. And the darkness, auta, it. Now, katelaben means to overtake, in a hostile manner. So the light did not overtake it. The darkness did not overtake it. Now, let me make just a couple of remarks here. John says, in the beginning. We're immediately reminded of the opening words of the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the whole of creation was affected through the divine word. We find the repeated expression, and God said, like a punctuation mark, all the way through that first creation narrative. Now, the imperfect tense deals and expresses the idea of pre-existence. There's a difference between Genesis 1:1 and John 1:1. The Logos was in the beginning and did not come into existence. The repeated verb ein, is imperfect, which suggests ongoing being that is continuous in nature. There never was a time when the Word was not. This contrasts with the aorist tense, which is past time, point, action, came into being or was made. There's the aorist of the verb ginomai, came into being or was created. The aorist refers to point action, and this refers to the point events of Genesis 1. One final comment. The fellowship of the Logos with God. Not only was the Logos or Word pre-existent, but it was face to face with God, and that's stated twice. The word translated as with, and that's generally how the translations go, pros means towards or with reference to, but the main Greek lexicon suggests something better, in company with. And that occurs twice there. The word was in company with God. Now in 1 John 2:1 and 2, the preposition pros is used in the clause, we have a defense attorney or an advocate facing the Father. And there's the preposition. So the term suggests the idea of fellowship, relationality, or reciprocity where the Logos faces the Father. I trust this has been helpful to you. Thanks.